I'm Brian Posehn. You may know me from my stand-up comedy, or from the TV shows I've been on, like the Sarah Silverman program. I love comic books, metal, and anything nerdy, except furries. They're gross. But that does include Dungeons & Dragons, which I've been playing with the same group of my funny friends for a decade now. So we decided to record us playing the game and turn it into a podcast, and we call it...
Nerd Poker. Dungeons & Dragons with Brian Posehn and friends.
Blaine!
Ken!
Sarah!
Sark! Don't forget Gerry!
Hey, it's Brian Posehn, and you're listening to Nerd Poker. Dungeons & Dragons with Brian Posehn and friends. What happened last week?
You guys were granted some pretty sweet loot from some unbeknownst source.
Some watery Q.
Yeah.
No, everyone thank Bahamut.
No.
Or Bahamut. Whatever. It depends on your beliefs, I guess. Yeah. But, you guys all got various articles of awesome. I'd go back and listen to the beginning of that episode if you want to get caught up on what all that stuff is, but it seemed to be custom made for you guys.
Yeah, we all kind of got our dream weapons.
Some of you guys,
which is my favorite Nightmare on Elm Street movie. Duck into the soundtrack,
and then you eventually,
rockin'.
You eventually had Blackie. You'd sort of, with the help of your new sort of familiar,
with my little rescue,
your Stargoyle. You had figured out how to pilot the collector skiff that Sparklet had and his squad had captured. And you guys eventually, after making an attempt to get in touch with the survivors who helped you when you first escaped the collectors, and finding that they had all either been captured or annihilated, you guys continued on in your quest to thwart whatever these collectors are up to. So using some of your better judgment and some star charts, you jumped the little skiff to there was three. It looked like three worlds that were likely candidates to be reached by the collectors next. You didn't have too much information prior to the jump, and you guys chose the one that had fewer collector ships inbound. And the largest of the three, and I'm glad you picked that one because I have like a lot of there's a lot of fun stuff here. So you guys ended up jumping to what looks like Blackie. You called it as a gas giant, a giant planet, maybe sort of Jupiter-like, in that there's not any solid surface except for maybe way down deep near the core where you probably don't want to mess around, but you've beamed into or jumped into what looks like the atmosphere of some gas giant. You determined about which direction it's a binary star system, so you sort of determined which direction the collectors were coming in from. You're not sure why the collectors are not jumping on these star charts. What is it about those fleets or ships that are different? You're just gonna have to see. But either way, you have gotten to this world before the collectors do, at least according to the chart that you're looking at. So,
should we head for the planet where the collectors are bound for?
Oh, you're there. This is it.
I mean, should we land and try to figure out what these guys are after?
There's not any land though. Looking out the window,
should we gas and see what the collectors
I have a question though. We're in a collector ship. Are we also on their? We should assume that we're on their screens as well.
Right. Since they probably track all their own ships.
I would love to lay a trap for them, but it doesn't quite seem possible. I'm fine with waiting for this ship if it looks like it's inbound and then engaging once it's here. But I don't know that we have the element of surprise.
So a couple things, too, in case you haven't got around to them yet, Blaine, but Blackie would be wary of this. So you're not sure what the air is like. You're not sure what the atmosphere here is. And also there is obviously gravity. Like you are... Well, in the sense that you're standing on the floor of the ship and you're not floating around, but looking out the window, it seems like all the vegetation and everything seems to be like free floating. You're not sure why it wouldn't all fall down in the direction that gravity pulls you, but everything seems to be sort of, and it looks like it's grown in a state of 0G. Like,
I wonder if Sparklet's last gift would work out of an ocean environment.
You're just trying to get me out of an airlock? Is that what's happening right now?
You wouldn't be my first choice out of the airlock.
Okay. Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah, so it
Should
looks
we
like
open the
Hello,
pod bay
Amon.
doors, Al?
there's spherical like tufts of foliage. Some of it's like 6 feet across.
my
Some of them
name.
are like 200 feet across.
Richard, sir.
And it looks like a tree would grow in like an orb shape here. And you have seen a couple life forms. There was like a flying, in the distance, some type of like flying creature that slowly was winging its way across your line of sight, but couldn't tell what it was. Just looked like a big bird, condor or something. But you couldn't see from here.
Let's just kind of keep cruising around for a little while and take a look and see if any of these.
Yeah, and then where on the chart do we see where those assholes are? How close are we to them?
So the collectors are still coming into the system.
Oh, they're
still
not
in
even-
space.
we beat
right?
them.
So you
Okay.
have judging by the redrawing that chart a few times, you've got maybe like a week. It looks like.
Holy shit!
Okay,
the
so we have time to hit the
collectors
gym
show up.
for a while.
Right.
I'm gonna try to look around and see if any of these free floating, like these little islands or anything. I'm gonna try to find a big one, and maybe we can get in close.
Okay.
I mean, how are we doing on food and water and stuff?
Well, you guys have whatever were given by the survivors when you split, but you haven't gotten any more
Refills.
any more rations since then. So that has not been that long ago, though. It seems like a long time because it's a lot of game sessions, but you figure
It's like 2 days or something.
or
that.
3 days, yeah, something like that.
Well, we do need to sleep.
Yeah, you have traveled many light years.
Let's start going in shifts.
And circling maybe to look for...
Yeah. I'm trying to find.
Okay. So you guys start taking rest shifts, and Blackie, you're going to sort of do some sort of like hovering near these different...
Yeah, I'm gonna look and see if any of them look like they have. If it looks edible or even like some sort of life form that we would recognize.
Okay. So you guys all start taking shifts resting. Blackie, you and Stargoyle, who's just glued to the window.
Gargoyle.
Just psyched to be exploring.
I do that thing where I put a biscuit on his nose and make him just sit there, and then I go, wait for it, and then he totally gets
It's
it.
so mean, but so cute.
Yeah, I have a little intergalactic tennis ball I throw too.
So as you approach, just arbitrarily, you pick one of the larger. It looks like it's maybe 100 feet across. Just this. It looks almost like an oak tree, but there's no trunk. Like just the top part of the tree. And as you sort of fly up to it, off of one side of it, you see like a whole bunch of strange. It just looks like birds. They seem to be startled by your approach, and this flock of birds flies away. Little tiny creatures, but your elf eyes sort of pick out that they. It almost looks like little balloons. Like they look like little balloons with wings. Like they don't have like bodies. They're like gaseous, tiny little gaseous beings. And as you approach as you draw close to this, ball of foliage, you see that all the branches and everything seems to converge on the center, and it gets sort of it's still. The dual suns are still shining, at least from where you're at. So you can sort of see in there, and it just looks like it forms into like this knot of some type of wood in the center that seems to just grow out in all directions. It doesn't look like there's any fruit on this one, but these things are sort of scattered all over. Especially at the looking out the window at your sort of altitude. So up above, they seem to get scarce, and down below, as you look down, the sky sort of seems to get hazy or smoggy down below. You lose sight of stuff down towards what seems to be the center of the world. It also either they get more scarce or they get harder to see. It's hard to tell from here, but.
What do you think the odds are that there's like little space Keeblers living in these trees, like some sort of little gas balloon elves or something? Mm-hmm. I mean, if there's any sort of intelligent life, they're probably living inside these things. So maybe there's some sort of little internal cities, hollowed out cities.
Are there cookies?
I'm just spitballing. I hope so.
I mean, that's obviously my number one concern.
Fudge Stripes, Fudge 6, and Deluxe Grams.
That's right.
Plus 3 Deluxe Grams.
We found the zero gravity cookie tree.
Fudge Stripe was my nickname in high school.
I don't even want to know.
That's because he always hid his candy bars in his underpants. And then he would shit himself.
That's what they'd see after the wedgie. Fudge Stripe.
Fudge Stripe!
Get over here, Fudge
So
Stripe.
we'll just, as you guys are resting,
Also the Rich Deluxe.
we'll continue your exploration. So you varying your altitude a bit here and there, just sort of poking around the new place. Over the course of a few hours, you see various other life forms. All of them seem to be gas-based. And the assumption, at least that you've seen so far, you assume it's just because since there is limited places to sort of rest, that most of these organisms need to be able to sort of indefinitely be in a state of rest in between tufts or whatever. You approach a handful of these. You don't see anything unusual, and you've gone several, you would say several miles. You can't see back to where you were. You're that far enough away. It's also hard to keep a sense of direction because everything's just sort of lazily drifting around. But 3 hours into your search, you see the first thing that that really like strikes you, and this Stargoyle sort of like he's been chittering around. He seemed to get bored after a while, so he was like bouncing up and down on your shoulder and playing with your ear and all this. But he like smacks up against the windshield again. Thump. And you see at first you're like, you sort of draw the ship to a halt because you think that it is a huge creature that you haven't seen yet. And it sort of appears from behind a larger sort of tree. But as it sort of emerges, you see that it's like a dirigible or some type of like handmade vehicle. And you can't tell, you don't see like a gondola or anything beneath it, but it's definitely like got a sort of a conical point and tail as it sort of emerges. It's probably 100 feet long, and it just looks like a big, like a pointy-ended cylinder that's like Macy's Day float or like Macy's float size.
Like the Noid?
Right,
like a big Noid.
And there's no gondola, no visible place for like people to sit. But you see, there is some type of like valves in the back of it that seem to like rhythmically open and close. And you see like puffs of atmosphere. It seems to sort of puff its way through the sky.
Is it like
but you can see
that
like
Mad Magazine dirigible.
It's like a stitched. Like it's netting holding the thing together. It's definitely built. Seems to be very slow, not very maneuverable. Certainly not collector tech.
Any signs of people in it, or beings?
Can't see from here. It just looks like the balloon. So if there are people, they must be inside of it somehow.
Well, let's. Do you want to follow it? Head half impulse.
Sure.
Just kind of follow it, trail it, see what's going on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
We're going to pull out real slow, like cannon.
And are you doing this like you don't want to be seen, right?
Yeah, we're going to kind of slip up behind him.
Okay.
Like armed response.
Right. Okay, so you maneuver over to the aft of this thing, and you're. It's hard to tell if they have like visual on you because you're not sure where the line of sight is for them. But you just hang way back. Bless you, Brian.
Sorry.
You just hang.
Dying.
It's not a sneeze.
He's dying, everybody.
I never say bless you either. I don't know why I just did that.
Like that?
I take it back. Fuck
Yeah,
you, Brian.
I'll take another one of those.
Nicola.
Yeah, so you follow it, you hang way back, and this thing putts along like super slow.
Well, the good news is, though, that we may just, or the bad news, we may just appear like any other collector vessel if we're going to mix it up with some of these people.
Right. Yeah.
So maybe
And you were saying we didn't jump here. There was something weird about how we got here.
They didn't jump. They were traveling
Yeah.
slowly. We jumped, right?
Oh, okay.
But you know they can jump, so
Right,
why
okay.
wouldn't they?
Right.
But you guys haven't been on this end of the collector program yet. You were either directly victims of it or you were behind enemy lines, sort of. But you haven't been ahead of them.
We think the collectors are coming to collect these
yes.
Zeppelin people, not to. So maybe we should.
Most likely
maybe
there's
we
a
should
people here that the collectors, are coming
right.
to.
So maybe we should make contact before they get here, and they won't know what the collector ships look like anyways. It's not like they're going to be
Oh, they wouldn't. Yeah.
right
Okay.
since they haven't gotten here yet. So
Right.
Well, let's
that's how time works.
let's start to move forward a little bit and see if we can find some kind of some sort of a dock or some sort of area where we could get up next to these
There
guys.
may be wisdom in that, though, if we can make friends with these people and actually be on board and maybe hide this ship. And then maybe we gain the element.
Give him a
of
friendly
surprise.
hug.
Yeah, it just seems. Is there a way for us to communicate some type of? Is there like a Morse code type language or anything in this world that we could flags,
you're like,
some kind
you're
of
way
flag
off
system?
you're way
Nautical-
off the traditional
I'm guessing they
chart
speak
here.
fart.
Sir Richard.
The language of music.
I will fly into their
Well, maybe we
atmospheric
just.
butthole. I'll be right back.
I saw them at the Echo.
Well, for now, you're while you're
Right.
you're discussing this, so you're following them, and it takes a while, and this thing makes some real sort of like lazy turns. It's either not in a hurry or it just is not a fast vehicle. But after moving in a relatively straight line for again another few hours and keeping half an eye on this thing, keeping one of the 0G sort of shrubs between you and it when possible, you see that it is approaching what looks like a massive tree, basically. But the tree is filled with the closest thing. I mean, like an Ewok. It's like a zero gravity Ewok looking structure. So
destroy it.
and as it sort of lazily approaches, you see from off in the backside another of the similar looking Zeppelin sort of like poofing its way off somewhere. You're too far away at this point to see if there's an individual like life forms in or around this thing, but you see that it's definitely moved into what, maybe that's a city here, maybe it's just an outpost, but
It seems like it would probably be a bigger base if there's more ships moving around. So let's just kind of follow it and see where it goes. See if there's like an entry point.
all right.
Perhaps we can dock, on a different branch.
Okay, so yeah, real slowly. The Zeppelin that you're following sort of pivots to the side and drifts right up to this spot that has it looks like a landing area. It obscures your view of what could be disembarking or not from the thing, but you guys slowly, as you approach, there's not like any turrets that spring into action or anything. No defensive measures. You see another little platform that's clearly like meant to be sort of landed at, and you sort of spin the ship around, prepare to sort of pull in there. As you get probably within 200 feet, you see for the first time the signs of life here. And you see there's two basic kinds of life that you see as you draw near. One just looks like they look like humans. You can't tell from here if it's elvish or they're humanoid. And then there's another kind. It looks almost like a skull and a crossbones, but instead of the skull, there's it's like a gas bag with eyes, and then the four crossbones are like these feathery sort of wing / moth wing things, and they're fluttering along. They seem, some of the humans, you can see them talking to these gas bag creatures, and then you also see the humans are walking around. It's like catwalks and stuff built up, but they have rope belts that are looped to almost like safety lines to these rails. There's definitely gravity though. There is they're walking. There's an up and a down, but for some reason this
probably seeing a fall.
Yeah.
But the one thing that we can see is that there are definitely no collectors. It's not. This is two different species.
They look indigenous.
I mean, at the very least, we could warn them, and hopefully.
Do we see
anybody carrying any kind of weapons or wearing armor?
Some of the, well, it's hard to tell with the little flutterers, but the humanoids are definitely wearing leather armor, and they have bows and staves.
Can I? I'm gonna kind of think to my little Stargoyle here. I'm gonna go good, bad, ugly. What's with these guys?
He gives you like a little one of his little dark universal silhouetted.
Oh, Stargoyle, you're adorable.
Maybe we should just go in and kind of hands up and be,
I'm sure. They seem pretty.
You're slowly drifting towards this place. You actually do see as you approach a little bit further, you see like a human, without weapons drawn or anything, a human and flanked by two of the flutterer creatures. He's slowly, lightly, almost like he's hopping. It's like a moonwalk, not a Neil Armstrong moonwalk. Along the
like a old school moonwalk.
Right.
Bouncy, not backwards, forwards.
You see them approaching the platform that you're going to be landing at, but they don't seem in a hurry or aggressive or
cool.
Is there a way to open any sort of doors onto this thing and get a sense of if we can breathe, if we can go back to the airlock and we can open it up and then close it? See, keep the open, let the gas in, close the outside door, then get inside and see if we can breathe that.
Okay.
Or are there any kind of sensors on the ship that would tell us that?
Are there any like small animals we could just put outside and see how they do?
Only there was a canary like creature.
Shaped like a gargoyle.
Not Stargoyle.
That may not be a reliable test, though, because he seems to even not. Yeah, he seems.
I just thought that would break Blaine's heart, but he didn't even react.
He's a heart.
He actually thought about it. He's a calculating warlock.
Yeah,
it's not that attached.
He looks at all the options.
Yeah.
And I go with air conditioning and body side molding.
Blackie, can you check to see if there are sensors that will tell us that?
Yeah, you know what? I'll while I'm doing that, I'm gonna look around and see if I can look for life detectors, see if I can figure out if there's any sort of like pitot tubes or anything going on, and I'm also gonna see if there's any sort of weapons consoles on this ship too.
Yeah, you guys hadn't done that yet. We talked about it, but
we begin firing.
But yeah, you also want to be careful. You don't want to fire your test torpedo into the trees, but so you
womp, there it is.
I'll show you my test torpedo.
So you are trying to think about
I'm just trying
atmosphere and all that. It doesn't
just
really
for looks. It just hangs there in the museum. It's a museum piece.
Nothing triggers the Stargoyle, but as soon as you think of like a defense and a weapons system or whatever, he flutters out the cockpit and somewhere to the back of the. And then he flies back like he wants you to follow him.
Okay.
So he takes you guys back to the area where the lockers were.
And that's where his nest is. Oh, look at all the little babies. Oh, little baby.
And he gestures at what you guys thought was just, up until now, just sort of like part of the flooring. And you, now that you've had time with the controls, you recognize it as like a little panel or switch. So I
never thought I'd be smuggling myself in these things.
That was pretty good. So you and he activate this panel, and this like a portion of the floor drops and then slides back, and you see there's like an old you see like a semi-spherical transparent bubble down there. With
Semispheres is my favorite Rush album.
With another set of controls. You don't see weapons, right? Like, it just looks like a bubble that you'd climb down into.
Oh, we should try it out and just, hit all the buttons. Not really.
This is good to know for later.
Right.
Yeah.
I would think that if we had
right.
I would think if we had somebody small that could get in there that would like to shoot things, Mildred.
Oh.
That might be a.
Well, is it an umbilical? Is it?
It just looks like an observation bubble here, but it was opened. It was triggered. The opening of it was triggered by Blackie asking his Stargoyle for a weapons system. So there's.
All right.
Something down there.
But but we did see the humanoid creature they see us, right?
Right.
And they're not freaking out, and they're not.
No.
So
in fact, they've walked up now as you.
So it seems like they're waiting for us to.
And they're just waiting for you to dock.
All right.
Let's dock and we'll go out and docking.
Rhymes with rockin'.
Maybe we can roll dice.
We'll get peacefully killed.
Maybe something will happen.
Yeah, are you guys docking?
Yeah,
right.
docking. We're
so
docking like docking.
You glide into the
Rhymes with gawking.
The dock, and gently bump up against the platform there, opening doors and stuff.
Yeah.
Those guys are just out there chilling. It looks like they're just waiting.
Hey,
let's go out and see them.
Go ahead and greet them with open arms.
Okay. So you crack the airlock, hoping that poisonous gas doesn't fill the ship and you all suffocate.
Space pirate.
However, while it smells a little off, the oxygen seems to be breathable enough as it sort of snaps into the ship. Standing outside about 15 feet away, it looks like a human male. He's wearing what looks like ranger gear. He's green garbed. Rope around his waist, tied off
Prince Baron
to a handrail. Floating next to him, two of the rather unsettling flutter creatures, sort of a veiny, gas baggy looking things with a cluster of eyes on the front and little feathery wings on.
So they look exactly like my scrotum.
Yeah.
Easy scrotes.
See a doctor.
Yeah. Yeah, your balls have feathers on them.
It sees a lot of doctors from a distance.
Blaine's balls are mostly spider by now. They're mostly just...
I just wish the balls would keep dropping.
Terrible. The dude,
the spider has
he
his
shouts
balls
out
now.
to you, but you can't understand what he says. He sees this after a moment, and he leans, and he's in one of the little flutter things, like turns to it, and they like they go back and forth a second, and the flutter returns to you, and the seam that it apparently uses as a mouth or a breathing hole or whatever sort of flops around.
I can't wait for this drawing, by the way.
But it
Drawing by Georgia O'Keeffe.
but it actually communicates in a like the common tongue. And
Sounds
it
a lot
says,
like James Mason.
it says, Welcome, strangers. What is your business here?
I am Sir Richard of Glenishmore.
Oh boy.
We come with a warning. Unfortunately, we expect your settlement here to come under attack from a vessel, and we don't have much time to prepare.
He said to talk for a minute, and the guy looks concerned, genuinely concerned, not dubious. Immediately, you're struck by the overall feeling of either honesty or extreme naive of the simple people or whatever. But he talks back. The flutterer then seems to relay the message. It says, "Who or what is coming to our world?"
We only know them as the Collectors, but they are they leave nothing in their wake. They take people, and you may know more. My friends may know more about them than I do. But
yeah, we went to school
all
with them.
victimized by them at one time or another.
Yeah.
He's like, and they come from below?
No, they come from above.
They come. Oh, he stops
from further away.
So they talk back and forth. The immediate assumption was that they'd come from beneath, which is sort of unusual. Wait, you've got your hand raised.
Oh no, I'm just pointing up at the.
okay.
I'm pointing up at the sky, and I'm sort of pointing at the Stargoyle.
Let's take a quick break.
All right.
We are back.
Yes.
Here we are, back.
Better than ever.
What happened? Oh, yeah, we're going to land in...
Brian's going to punch me in the face if I don't give you something to attack in a minute.
He could barely even muster a laugh. He's just like... There you go.
All right, so you guys were having a conversation with the local emissary on two of his weird scrotum gas bag floating
scrotum gas
partners.
bag floating partners.
With
eyes.
And they'd asked, what are the... you'd explained that the collectors you'd said collectors, right?
Sir Richard did.
Yes.
Yeah.
You explained that there's this force of invaders, basically, coming in, and these guys seemed... obviously, they wanted to know more, so they asked, how long do we have, and where, what do they want with us?
We are not sure. As far as we know, really all we know is that they kidnap people, they take and use bodies somehow, or people somehow.
Especially women.
They're coming here for your women, guys.
It will be unpleasant.
But we don't have the full story, but all we know is that we were taken in this way and escaped, and we found a map to this location in their stronghold.
They're about a week away, right? Still a week?
Yeah.
So
okay.
we should start the A-team building montage.
Have you heard anything? Do you have communication with other worlds or other peoples where they might have information?
Without waiting for the human ranger looking guy to say anything, the flutterer who's been translating everything, says, we have seen the third star. Which seems to imply maybe that they made some type of visual contact, like there may be they may be able to actually see something. But he points up towards where the blue star is. You can't see anything because it's bright, but he's pointing in the right direction, like he's seen something in the sky, or they have seen something in the sky up there. So. They say, well, the human says something to the gas bag, and You're asked to join. He's like, you've got to tell the council. You've got to tell the council what you've told us. And the gas bag, sort of on a side note, he's like, where does your ship's balloon? Where is its gas tank? He seems really interested by the lack of
We have
Zeppelin.
an alternate means of traveling.
Where do you go when you're on your ship? Where's the cabin?
He's like, oh, well, I'll show you our vessels. I would love to see what what power's yours.
Do you guys have any cookies?
I gotta roll. Hold on, Gerry. Let me grab the dice tray from you. I'm gonna just roll this out here. All right,
rolling for
10%
cookies.
Wait, are you
chance.
rolling for cookies?
Wait, you're rolling for
10%
cookies
chance they
for
have
real?
cookies.
No.
81. No, there's. He's like, cookies.
Good, because Mildred did not actually say that. Just so.
What are these
so they,
delicious cookies of which you speak?
They say you can join us on our ship and we'll take you to the council, or you can follow us in yours, whatever you're more comfortable with.
I think we'll follow.
They sort of nod understanding.
How long do you think this is going to take?
He says the translation is they're on the next tuft, so maybe 20-minute flight.
Right.
Is there? I hate to be this guy, but is there food?
He's like, of course, you are our guests.
Yeah, they're very nice.
Okay, good. I was just checking. I wanted to make sure there was like human food around.
If you knew where the tuft was, you could probably make it there in about 60 seconds, but you got to follow the slow ass Zeppelin too. So.
Let's check the chart and make sure that ship is still a week away before we go and promise.
I'll just see if they're getting closer.
So you watch. You guys sort of hang tight just long enough because you're curious, and from here you can see the side of the Zeppelin at the other sort of landing platform, and you watch the man sort of. He's got the rope on the handrails has like a sort of a quick release type loop or not. It's hard to tell, but he definitely sort of slides the thing along and unhooking it and rehooking it when necessary. And he scoots around, and you see over the as he approaches the Zeppelin, you see that while there is like a grid of rope netting around the Zeppelin, and you can see sort of the back valve area. As you watch him approach, it doesn't actually look like it was made. It almost looks like folds of like some type of flesh or whatever. It's sort of what you thought was stitched together, sort of sheets or something, now seem more like a modeled skin pattern. And as he approaches, you see this sort of flappy slot slide open.
Really?
And he steps into this thing, which now you see to be some like a larger organism. And as it first puffs out, like you see little puffs of air and dust. You see it's like two little sphincter
When we
valves.
see inside, do we see any like freshness trees hanging anywhere?
No, you can't see from here if he's got pine scent, but the two flutterers, though, they don't actually go. One of them goes into the ship with the guy. The other one just sort of lazily just floats right off the edge of the platform and just moves into sort of formation with this massive Zeppelin. You guys pile into the ship 20 minutes after following this thing. Mostly right around the edge of this tuft, you see there's another big, like, bunch of foliage. This one there's more activity, and you can see people. They're like actually cutting and carving and building, and they're all tethered off. And you guys like move into what seems to be a little bit more of an active area. You dock. You're escorted in past people doing like clearly like expanding this thing. You're escorted into the interior of the center of the thing. It's like the heart, the trunk or whatever, is probably 60, 70 feet across. It's been hollowed out. So you go in there and there's mixed people standing around. Doesn't seem, no one's like wearing like judges' wigs or robes or anything, but clearly this is sort of like a center of like town government or whatever. The flutterers and the guy who you were with sort of, shout out to the room, and everyone sort of steps off to the sides of the room. And they have there's a 5 or 10 minute conversation where the stuff that you explained is explained to the people in the hall. And eventually the flutterer that has become sort of your translator turns to you, and he says, he's like, we are, and by the way, you've seen at this point men and women, so there is there's a human element to the settlement, although they don't seem to be
I want to ask
from here.
Who are the humans, and are you of the same race, and why are you working together? How do you come together?
Okay, so the flutterer doesn't turn to his companion to answer this. He just responds, and he says, he's like, oh, the people came here from the sky, much like how you are describing this invasion, a long time ago, and they came in a they came in a device, also not powered by air. He's like, and we have. I can take you to that, after we meet with the council. But sounds
Perhaps
like
we should see it before we go to the council.
Well, you're in the council now. You're.
We may have miscalculated.
So he says, basically, he comes back to you guys. He's like, listen, anything you guys need, we don't want to take you at your word for everything, because we have only your word that something bad is coming, but we also don't want to be left defenseless. So we appreciate you giving us the warning. And he's like, how do you think we should prepare?
I don't know.
We'll either have to join forces and fight, or they'll have to leave, go to a safe place.
Well, yeah, because I was going to
don't know
say,
if they're fighters.
if we go to warn the other,
chance the ship that brought them here is also a collector ship?
Yes, there is a
Yeah.
chance.
Yes.
I'd like to figure that mystery
But then I was
out.
gonna
But
say,
I'm wondering if these are pre-collectors.
Yeah,
the humans.
I mean, that's what I'm wondering too.
no, but aren't the collectors? They don't have bodies, right? They're transmitting
Right, and
somehow
they've
from. Oh, you weren't
taken
here for this, Sir
slaves.
Richard. Were you? Oh no, yeah. Remember it was like the you battled the people in the robes, and they weren't really people.
Yeah, although we don't know what they
Right.
want. We assumed that they wanted to take these people. If that's not the case, then we may have stepped in shit.
I think we might be okay. I don't know.
Well, I feel
This
like
this sounds like something that was a long, not
Yeah.
2 months ago.
Yeah.
This was
Yeah,
hundreds of
millennia
years ago.
ago.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, we've given them a warning. We could also, in an effort to fuck up the collectors, go warn the other planet that weren't there, or there were 2 other places that we saw them heading towards.
There were also 2 ships there.
Were they already
were-
there? Were they headed?
No, they were all en route, so you
Right.
could.
So if
still
we did
jump.
that would be a pretty big blow. If there was basically prepared armed rebellions happening when they arrived at each location, that might be a good distraction for us to.
I was thinking too, if we know that this ship is armed, we could try and come in behind the lone ship and take it out before it gets here.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's yeah.
But I think we have a choice to make. You probably don't get to do both. We probably can't warn the other worlds and set a trap for that other ship. Both are good strategy.
Right.
What if we paint the entire town red?
That's what I like.
Yeah, freak them out.
Someone's gonna have to go back and get a shitload of
So
dye.
yeah, they basically say we will. We will cooperate as best we can. You seem like
Hide the women.
trustworthy.
Yeah, hide the women might be a good move.
Or get them out of here. Even
You could. Is the ship that brought these people here? Is it still operational?
He says it gets a little hazy talking to him about this, but he says some of it works still.
They do take men and women, though, or do they only take women? Because they have aren't the men
they take men and women, but they only clone.
They only
the
clone,
women.
right? But like they do brainwash and use the men or whatever
as their soldiers.
You're right, slaves or
Right.
Yeah.
But the women seem to be
They have a worse fate.
critical to
Right.
whatever's
Yeah.
going on. Yeah.
do we have time to jump to travel to this other planet and come back?
We can go. Yeah.
We should tell them what to do.
You have time to do it.
Yeah.
The one thing is you're not sure how if there's a cooldown on the jumping.
Amarth, what do you think we should do?
Something.
Kill everybody.
I know. I
wants
want
to
to
do
see him go on a
something.
rampage right now.
The
I wanna
surprise the
see
collectors by
I don't know who to
slaughtering
kill here.
everyone.
Brian's about ready to attack that innocent person.
Maybe Sark. I could go either way. I feel like
We could leave you here to train them to fight against the collectors.
leave who here?
You?
Me? Fucking flufferer and the other dickhead. Can these pussies even fight? Or what,
I don't know.
what
We can
are
ask
their normal
them.
weapons?
Can
What
you
are
pussies even fight?
Staves, clubs, bows. Yeah, anything that it
And
seems to
do you
be
have
able to be carved from the.
Are there any magic users, or is there any sort of science that we're...
Not yet. Not that you've seen. No, it's just and everything is essentially made out of wood.
they? No anti-aircraft.
No. They could put two logs suspended by ropes and have them smashed together on anything that came
God.
He makes a good point. Sounds
We should just to make it clear because you guys aren't tied off.
Yeah.
I'll say.
The gravity is low, and one key thing that I should have mentioned, but I didn't, is that as soon as you stepped out of your ship, there was the change. So while there is like light gravity here, there's definitely some type of artificial gravity
ship.
system on board the
and
skiff.
is
so.
the ship moored properly?
Yeah.
Okay, well then I've got some rope, so I'm gonna start.
I'll do what anybody else wants to do.
I'm actually
We're
for
deciding
trying to take out this ship before it gets here, would be my vote. And then
And then we'll move on to this
from
other
that
one.
success to try and immediately warn the other planets, or warn the other planets and then intercept the ship. Maybe trying to have our cake and eat it too.
Yeah, but if they're a week away here, how long are they till they get to the other place? Are we going to be too late? Is it going to be Alderaan?
Right. Well, we don't know because we don't know if the jump needs to recharge.
We did like
Right.
a warp travel, and they're just doing regular
Right.
travel.
No, I understand that, but
Well, here's what I would suggest: is we get one of the other planets on a chart ready to go. We head out of the system and we try to attack this ship on its way in. We see what we can do, see what we're up against, take a couple of shots, and then jump out of the system.
I like that.
That's a nice one.
Well,
I like being
but,
proactive and
but
making
attacking
something
these
happen
guys
quickly.
and then running if it's not successful is not. I think we need to shoot that ship out of.
Yeah, we got to figure
Yeah.
out how to shoot this belly gun on this thing, and if it's powerful enough to. Is this
Well,
an
if we-
Enterprise versus a Star Destroyer, or
They're two different
what
universes,
What are we
kid.
talking here?
Yeah, I mean, he
Yours
was
would be
describing
more
it as
like
a
an
rowboat.
X-wing.
Yeah, it's like a.
It's
Yeah.
3 different universes if you count me.
Right.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's going to be like The Last Starfighter versus Battle Beyond the Stars with Richard Thomas.
That was the spaceship. What is it,
a
Yamamoto?
single Viper.
Space Cruiser Yamato? Yeah. I don't want to bring that into it. I like it.
You should also. I would highly recommend you go check out the tech.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
The ship?
The remaining tech.
Oh, that was such a push from the DM. We
Hey,
don't usually.
I'm
He
just
doesn't want to
saying.
lose us. No, we were going to do that, right? For sure. That we're definitely. So why don't we do that
One
while
of the
we
first
discuss?
things that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
All right.
And that could affect
Game show
your
rigging scandals of the 50s.
It could affect your decision.
Okay.
All right.
Let's do
Did
it.
you guys just hear Brian? Did he just shout something?
Okay.
All right. So they're gonna talk to you guys further about what you recommend them doing. For now, the human and the flutterer seem to sort of agree that they're gonna hide the females in the colony.
And everyone else must remain and
They're going to hide the kids, hide their wives.
That's right.
Yeah.
You ask again about the humans craft and their sky craft that brought them here, and the flutter is like, yeah, follow me. This is we met them on this area, and we have made this sort of our center of, they've made it their home, and we have a good relationship with them. So we've been here since before time, but they've proven to be valuable allies. Not everything in this world is and it makes like a self-effacing joke about made of feathers and gas or whatever. And as he's sort of leading you through along these catwalks and up steps, and you guys actually sort of enjoy the low gravity. Like you can take like a flight of steps in two. A lot of possibilities as far as like tactical use that you could turn to your advantage or disadvantage. If a gust of wind picked up on this, and you guys weren't tied off, which most of you are not right now, you could very easily find yourself in the abyss. But it seems pretty calm right now.
I'm staying close to rails just in case, and I have rope, so I might do a thing where I kind of am trying to imitate what the other humans are doing.
Okay. Yeah, and it's also there's also he describes that weather can get pretty extreme, but right now it's you picked a good day to visit. It's a beautiful day out.
Can you supply us with some tie-offs?
He's like, yeah.
All right,
He talks to the human guy. He disappears. He's going to go get some. You guys continue on. So you come to the eventually weaving through the branches. At this point, totally grown in, but judging by how this thing is nested in here, it must have burned its way through and just smacked into the center of this thing. You come across like the remains of some machine, some piece of technology. You guys have never seen anything like it. It doesn't look anything like your collector skiff. It's got like black markings. It's made of like a white almost like bathroom tile surface.
Like a Disneyland Tomorrowland rocket?
It has, yeah. Well,
because that place is a toilet.
It has like a little blue and red like logo on the side.
no.
You've never seen anything.
Damn you! This is it from
Darn
America?
you all
Is it
to
from
heck.
America? Is a U.S. flag on there?
Yeah, there's like
Stars and
four
stripes?
symbols. There's like four symbols on the side. You don't know what they say. It looks like some type of letters.
Oh my god, you guys! This is totally from
it.
Just so like it's not a complete. So you guys have an idea of time wise. This isn't like the Columbia or whatever, but it's definitely a like a NASA vehicle.
Wow.
But it would be this
Beady,
thing would be
beady,
set in the.
I'm
this would be
confused,
set in
Buck.
the future. Yeah.
At least there's still a NASA in the
Is it?
Yeah, I was gonna
Is
say.
it relatively intact? Is it?
No, just the tail end. It's like completely like crushed into and then overgrown by this thing.
It's like the License to Ill cover.
Yeah, you do see there is some lines like coming out of it, and it looks like maybe they're siphoning some type of power off of something inside the ship.
Were there any historical records or like a machine that talked inside? Was there anything that survived that?
Can we get the pod
Flutterer
bay
has
doors
no
open?
idea. He's like, this is the craft that brought the walkers to us
They're humans.
years and years ago. They started with only 4, and they've since grown into
Hey,
hundreds. But
I'm gonna go in and see. Can I get in there and look at computers and stuff?
yeah, he's
Because
like, yeah,
maybe
go
if
for
I
it.
can get in there with Stargoyle, that we can go in and maybe match some systems and get these humans back to Earth, and then we can swing by the Galleria and I can hit H&M.
Right. Okay. So he shows you where the doorway into the thing is. It's like up like a runged sort of ladder and up through the top area. It doesn't look like a door that you'd walk through, but you go in. It's all smashed up, but carefully. It's been like tended and cleaned, and the branches have been cut away where they obstruct access to any of the systems. The front of the ship is just inaccessible. It's just either destroyed or just walled in at this point by overgrowth. But the back of it, you see there's like a panel that's been carefully tended. That's looks like the cables are running in and out of, and like blinking lights, switches. Looks like a whole system that could be futzed around with back here, but doesn't look like where you would fly the thing from.
Okay.
How is it still powered? I'm guessing
Nuclear?
yeah. Although I don't know what that is.
Right.
Who does?
Brian just looked at me like he was going to punch the spaceship, and then he smiled like, I'm going to punch the spaceship. Fuck you.
Did anybody ask if there's like a weapons panel or
They seem to only have clubs and
no the
On
ship?
this-
Oh,
on
in
this ship?
here? No, but you could have your tech, your
Hey.
engineer.
Do you see any weapons that we can fire from this ship if we commandeer it?
Oh, we can't really commandeer it. It's sort of
Well, it's not working.
Yeah, it's embedded.
Yeah, but
But you're not sure what systems. Brian's right. You're not sure what. You'd have to mess around with it. You'd have to ask, but you could.
Yeah, I don't
like-
think the ship is going anywhere, but there might be weapons
Are the
on it.
engines still intact on the back of it?
you don't even know.
Mike, are there cones or is there a propulsion system?
Is Gerry asking or Sir Richard?
Well,
This sounds like Gerry to me.
yeah,
I'll
do it in
answer
a stupid
Gerry and
voice.
say, yeah, it looks like the engines are sticking out the back.
We could
Gerry.
build a nuclear bomb if we knew what any part of that phrase was.
Plutoni, what? Hey, we could
I got some
move,
fertilizer.
we could move this whole start the engines and move this whole thing out of the way, or shoot it at something.
If it's in the way of something, but yeah, you can.
let's table this discussion now and figure out, do we want to hit space and go and
Attack?
yeah. Are you
Well, he
are you
wanted
for
us
that?
to see this for some reason, so we should
Well,
figure
I-
out why he wanted us to see it.
Because we were.
Now Brian's
we're
playing the
for source.
psychological game.
We're
You're right.
not-
He knows
not a
it's,
Marth.
it's more than
That's Brian
It's
talking.
more than just me wanting to show off a NASA logo. Brian does this. Marth doesn't though. God, we're so schizophrenic. I don't know who I'm talking to anymore.
Crazy shit.
Marth
going
says, "Me kill someone."
It's true. He do kill someone.
You guys also have not messed around with your new gear
Well, I'm
yet.
thinking.
No, I
about
know.
it.
I really.
I was
wanna
trying.
fucking
I kept
cleave
saying I was
somebody.
trying. I thought you were going to tell me I finally figured out what it was.
That's right. You were messing around with
Yeah.
it. All right. You find some cool shit. Are we gonna do that right now, or this seems like a weird spot right now?
Yeah.
But
I don't want to burn down the fucking planet or anything.
Excuse me, disgusting floating eyeball. We're going to perform some magical feats.
What do you guys want to do? Should we? Because we're close to having to wrap it, but I'd really like to.
I'm just concerned we don't have the
I'd really
firepower
like
to
for some blood to
fight
be
this
shed.
thing.
I'll tell you. Let me just put it to you this way: as far as like the Armada space fight.
Yeah.
Armada, Yamada.
If it's an
Right.
Armada, or no, actually,
I'm
forget
mad
that.
about it.
If it's even a single one of the dreadnoughts, like that you were captured on,
It's no chance.
you'll get almost assuredly you'll be like wiped out immediately. That would be X-wing versus Star Destroyer status.
Could happen.
Is
It's
the-
1 in a million shot.
Never tell me the odds.
You'll have to. You'll definitely have to. But then again, you don't know what that icon. You don't know what is inbound.
Right. We don't know what's inbound. We don't know what our weapon is. We don't know shit.
Let's keep looking around this NASA ship. I'm going to try to follow the cables and see where the cables are leading. Let's see if there's like some sort of power source, a room, like a magic room or
These guys
something.
are pretty chill. Like you could still possibly ask them for permission to just mess with it. You know,
well, one question I have
I
for
wouldn't do it
them
without asking. But.
is what is this place as significant? Is there another location that if this became unlivable, say for some crazy reason, how significant would that be? If there is a place that
There's
a battle
another
would
place for them to live.
Yes.
Do you mean this
giant?
World or this tuft?
this tuft.
He's like, yeah. The flutterer
this
says,
world.
"Oh yeah, we have 8. You've seen 2 of 8
And
tufts.
is there's no other vehicles that have landed? This is the only vehicle that has
No, yeah, no other sky sky
no other
zeppelin.
sky chariots. Yeah.
Huh.
Would it be okay if we try? I like your idea of following the cables before we try and mess with the machinery.
Yeah.
So you could even, I mean, there clearly have been put in afterwards. So I mean, even examining the cables, he explains that they run to a series of like. He has a hard time sort of explaining it, just like I am. It's like, because I try not to say the word that is the thing. I try to, you know, what did I call buses that one time?
Land whales.
Land whales. Yeah, they run to containers that hold power that are then shared by the different tufts. And that power is used to actually move the tufts. And
We really
What,
shouldn't-
little
we shouldn't
engines,
mess-
little
we shouldn't
jets?
mess with that.
yeah,
Little batteries.
he says he's like, you saw how he doesn't call them zeppelins, but you saw how the large ones moved, right?
Alternating.
Yeah. Fart power.
Yeah. He's like, it's like that, but we've managed to imitate that using our own, he's not we. He says the walkers have managed to
They've
imitate
invented
that.
the artificial fart.
I'm not for messing with the ship, really. My 2 cents.
How are we going to fight the fucking collectors is what I'm worried about.
Perhaps with, is there, are there poisons? Are there things on this planet that... I mean, I'm all for chemical weapons. I'll fight dirty.
Yeah. He says there are he says there are creatures in this world that you don't ever want to meet.
Perhaps we need to either
Oh boy.
stuff
Amarth wants to meet him.
let's stuff their ship filled with poison tribbles.
That axe will do a number on some gas bags.
All right, let's do it.
He just attacks Flutterer.
We're gonna have to get creative outside of having any technological advantage. Maybe we go low tech and get
Fill one of these zeppelins with poison gas and
or poison creatures and
propel it at the thing.
release the poison creatures into that ship.
But is the I want to ask Flutter Pants. Are the giant vehicles living creatures?
he's like he flutter laughs like,
I flutter killing.
and he's like, of course, everything here is living.
It's like
They
the
might be a little
Flintstones.
sensitive if we
Well, no, but I guess more than filling those ships, I meant filling the ships that are coming here somehow. If we had a force, I mean, they're going to have to dock here, and
Yeah.
when they do, we'd best be ready with some kind of unusual attack.
Sure. For sure.
And don't forget, there's
Can the poisonous ones be
there's a
reasoned
space
with?
shuttle here.
Yeah, I know. That we could.
You know,
detonate.
we could get everybody off this
Yes,
tuft,
that's for sure.
figure out how to fire up this engine, and then just shoot this tuft right into the ship.
Or send the engines critical and blow up the.
Phaser on overload.
Should blow up the ship as it docks.
Also, it's worth noting that none of us remember how we were taken, nor have we
Right.
ever seen them actually in the act of taking. So we
Well,
don't
you
know.
remember you were gassed
Oh, so if
like
that's
a paralytic agent or some type of stun gas.
do we remember that?
I feel like well, if you don't, then now
Then we
you know.
were.
But yeah, I feel like we saw that episode though was what a year
years
and a half
ago.
ago.
It was
a
like-
little- but I feel
Okay,
like we covered
so that somehow they're going to use a gas attack on a gas planet. What if this is where they get their gas from, you guys?
Oh my god.
It's a gas-
God, totally could be like a gas horse.
It's totally the gas
Well,
source.
if so,
Could be actually. Could
an
be.
I've got a gas
an
source.
advantageous way would be to, if we could knock out that ship, use it against them, and then move onto the other ship, and then use that to go and attack. Let's
Domino.
we should do everything we can do not to destroy this. If it is a frigate, we should use the element of surprise, take the frigate, and use the frigate to knock out the other
gas
ships.
them out. Take it.
Maybe that's why they didn't jump in. Maybe that's why they're traveling slowly. Has
Because they
something
have
to do.
gas.
Yeah, because they're trying to get some. I don't know. Just a thought. Just spitballing here.
You know, there is also the we could just do a recon. We could just fly into space, see how big this ship is. I mean, you know, the ship does seem to move pretty fast.
Yeah.
So we could just go out and see if it's big, if it's a week out.
That we
I mean,
might
we wouldn't have
blow
to
our
jump.
element of surprise is the only thing I'm.
And if your ship
about.
can't travel non-jump,
Yeah.
like if it can't travel as fast as the other one,
Then
it could
you're
pass
gonna-
you going the other direction, and then. But you haven't messed with. You don't have like land speed. So to
What if
speak,
we
yet,
collect
figure
the
it out.
power source and just fly around behind the incoming ship and shoot it into their engines? Somehow.
So I don't want to force action, but it sounds like you guys have just to narrow it down, so we have some goals. It sounds like you want to learn more about the wrecked craft.
Yeah.
You need to learn a little bit more about what the capabilities are of your skiff.
And their new
And
equipment.
possibly, your new gear, and possibly do some recon, interstellar recon, possibly.
Does our gear, if combined, how much of a complete set of armor is there?
Seems like 3/4 of a set of armor.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It's not a
as you
complete-
look, it doesn't seem to fit together.
Can I
into one.
ask,
different
Fluffernutter,
types.
what is below us?
Fluffernutter. You.
The Flutterer is he's like below us is only. He's like it's only the world. He's like there's only more world down there. He says if you go far enough down though, then you get to the storm. He says nobody goes to the storm.
I don't want to go
You
to
can't
storm.
survive in the storm.
Oh,
The storm doesn't
yeah.
sound good at all.
what?
Says the winds are too high, and the light flashes angrily, whatever. So
The Forbidden Zone.
it sounds like it gets
This
far
is Planet
enough
of the Apes.
to Blackie's ears. It sounds like it gets far enough down to where the density of the planet gets a little more intense.
Yeah,
so.
it's just like water with gas.
Are they familiar with other worlds? other than the?
No,
races?
it doesn't seem like it because they keep talking about the sky ship, and they've never seen.
They're like Hawaiians.
yeah, they are, and they've never seen. Like you guys didn't seem threatening at all because it didn't look like you came from. It just looked like you sort of drifted up out of the world. So you didn't like hundreds and hundreds of years ago. You didn't enter in with like a 100-mile long tail of fire and crash into a tuft.
True.
Which I'm curious to see if any listeners out there know where I'm drawing my inspiration for this. I'm curious to see if they can.
Yeah, I was just trying to figure out.
It's pretty obscure, but.
Well, we're over an hour. We should call it, and then when we come back next week, be ready to fucking do something.
Brian just wants to punch stuff.
Brian's took 9 Ambiens and 3 glasses of rosé.
You'll have, but I feel like there's always the quiet before the
Absolutely.
storm.
Yeah, I'm okay.
You know, shit will get real. I'm
Blaine?
excited for you guys to explore this place.
I'm gonna take my my little Stargoyle to the vet and get one of those cute little lion cuts.
Oh yeah, we do that for our Persian cat.
Yeah, it keeps them cool in the summertime.
What is this week's episode brought to you by?
This week's episode brought to you by Glass. I want to look outside, but I don't want to get wet. Glass.
We had. Should we talk about maybe transferring editions? We'd talked about that a little bit, but I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know.
I'm all for saying
we discussed
farewell
briefly
to the
going
fourth
from
edition.
4th to 2nd, but
Welcome.
Well, I think people have already said, the people that, online have said that they would like that, but I kind of, it's our decision.
Yeah.
Without saying I don't give a fuck what people think.
Well, they are phasing.
To be
out
honest,
fourth
it
edition.
probably wouldn't make too much of a difference for the
I mean,
listener.
that is another good point, though. They're coming out with the 5th edition.
Yeah.
With Next.
We're not going to play that.
And life is confusing.
Although I have a feeling it'll be more 2nd edition like.
Didn't they do?
Yeah, but
anyway.
I like.
I think it'll be third like. Third
Yes,
is
third
their
like.
golden era, I think.
Ah,
At
that's
least
what I
in the
meant.
minds of wizards of the coast. Not actual
Not
wizards.
Not real wizards.
Yeah, real wizards don't play a lot of D&D or think about it.
They fucking live it, man.
just
Yeah.
cast
So what?
spells
We
and
may
shit.
or may not return.
Yeah, maybe next
As
time
a-
you hear us, we're playing 2nd edition, but with the same characters and same abilities.
Same
just-
everything, so you won't know the difference.
Yeah. But there'll be a fake
Less
out.
bitching about movement issues,
Yeah, there'll be something to complain about.
no doubt.
Yeah, like no doubt.
Oh, no doubt. Ugh.
Yeah, fuck them.
Ugh.
Oh, what about the ad where she talks about
I'm
now
fine.
she can
She's talking to Siri.
design clothes while
He
she's
fell
on the
asleep in the middle
road.
of the sentence.
And she Harajuku.
Brian's execution fantasy of no doubt is brought to you by Benadryl. Shut your kid up so you can fuck your wife. Benadryl.
She's married to that guy from Bush. Jesus Christ.
Did Blaine do that Kmart commercial with "Ship My Pants"? That seems like
Yeah, that was
Blaine
pretty
ad.
cool, actually.
Shit, my
I
pants.
totally shipped my
Really
pants.
funny.
Was that ever aired on televisions?
That commercial really set off my Kadar.
I've only seen it on television.
Oh.
It's also on the internet.
Oh, maybe I saw it on the internet.
Well,
Anyway.
We'll be back with more I Saw It on the Internet, or did I?
I'm Brian Posehn. These are my friends. You know what we're doing.
So hot.
On the next episode of Dirt
It's not
Poker.
it's not even the middle of summer yet. Wait,
And here we
what
are
are we
at
going to
Death's
be
Door
doing in
already.
here?
We were not gonna.
I'm
In
gonna bring a
August.
cool. I was thinking about doing this today. I'm gonna bring a cooler with some of those ice gel packs, and you can just hang it over your neck.
I'm going to put one in my crotch.
I mean, that's the thing.
I actually really don't think we can record in here this summer.
Well, then I
think
don't know
we
what
move
else
it.
to do.
Why don't we move it?
Yeah, that's what, for the listeners. I already have.
We've all got phones
I have
that
a
are
thing that
recording
makes me
stuff.
sleepy. It's being
called
fat
food.
and old, and then I had a
medicine.
big meal. I had a meal, and then I'm on a medicine that makes me sleepy.
I'm on a
And
medicine.
we get in,
And then
Hi, Grandpa.
we get into a
Hey, everybody, Grandpa's on a medicine.
and then it's
we get
90
into
degrees in
a
here.
mausoleum-sized office that faces
Yeah.
west at
Yeah.
late in the day. So we have solar heating.
It's 100 and 200.
There
in here.
are moving blankets on the walls. Obviously, we want to keep things quiet at Earwolf. Where
Sure.
Everyone, it's
Yeah,
all good.
it's
Sound
quiet.
quality is the only thing you want to hear is your voice and the sound of sweat running down every
Yeah.
pore of your body.
And then
Oh, and sometimes you want to hear this from the other room.
yeah, and all my friends have really soothing voices except for Blaine.
My voice is almost like some sort of a sherbet.
Your voice is the only thing keeping me awake. Because Jerry's over here. Oh, you are now sleeping.
Jerry does have like a sonorous, like, your character especially.
I loved it when you sang "Little Drummer Boy" with David
Everything is
Bowie.
No, that was a compliment.
Not everything. No,
You were both saying the same thing, but
yeah, but
one was very
I
nice
listed
and
like
the other was,
I listed like 9 other things that made me sleepy before I got to your voice.
Are we just like sitting
I
there
am-
complaining for 5 minutes?
I
Is that
am
actually
pretty
what's happening?
sure the show was over.
Yeah, it was, right? No one wants to hear this.
No, everybody
Oh, yeah,
wants to
we're-
hear this
yeah.
because this is real. This is what it's like. This is my
Yeah,
life.
man.
Sometimes
Real
you're
shit.
hot.
And by shit, I mean shit.
All right.
When 5 nerds stop acting,
You know
and
what?
Start
Hey,
getting real.
Are you guys to any
Wait,
of the
who's
artists
the not nerd?
to any of the
'Cause there's
artists
6
though,
of
that
us.
are drawing
Okay.
that are drawing our exploits and the characters? When you have some free time, why don't you draw us all in this fucking prison hot box?
Yes. And
Yelling-
make sure you
yelling-
draw big closed eyes on Brian.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm
Don't forget the sweat lines on
I'm
everyone.
dreaming
Yeah, we're all
of being
sweating.
around my friends I like.
Recorded live at
maybe
Chloroform
over-
Wolf.
Like, don't skimp on the smell lines either.
Believe
right
me.
over our head. Like
We get accustomed to it.
Yeah.
I
warm.
Brian
feel
is
like
like
I feel like
Django's
there's
life.
been
Problem.
a mudding accident and this room is filling up with carbon monoxide.
Oh, dear.
See you next week.
This has been an Earwolf Media production. Executive producers Jeff Ulrich and Scott Ackerman. For more information, visit earwolf.com.
Earwolf Radio. Boom.